One of the better parts of the Constitution of the United States of America is the part where you have to have a warrant to get stuff, like evidence, to be able to search for evidence, without, the whole having due process thing. Well, one American company who doesn't feel that due process is something that should be held as a virtue would be Amazon. According to records that have now been released 11 times this year, Amazon has given over footage from people's Ring cameras to law enforcement without the permission of the person whose camera it is. Meaning, if something happens, you have a Ring camera that's, recording your property, Amazon will just give it to the police without question. And that's a kind of a problem because that kind of violates some certain freedoms and the Constitution. However, this has come to light when U.S. Senator Edward Markey, a Massachusetts Democrat, sent a letter to the Amazon questioning Ring surveillance practices and engagement with law enforcement. And it was discovered that this information is given out, footage is given out without the permission of the person who the camera belongs to. Now, this was primarily answered by Brian Hoosman, Amazon's Vice President for Public Policy, and he said, he wrote in a letter, in each instance, Ring made a good faith demonstration that there was immediate danger of death or serious physical injury to a person requiring disclosure of information without delay. And he said that Amazon reserves the right to respond immediately to urgent law enforcement requests for information. But basically, the company will determine whether or not it's really, really important, and if they decide that it's really important, then they'll turn over your camera footage without your consent. And basically, it's provided through an emergency request form, and the circumstances are described by law enforcement, which is a wonderful way of saying your privacy doesn't actually matter. Now, this has already been a problem, and it's something that's been covered by the nonprofit digital rights group's Electronic Frontier Foundation. It reported that the Los Angeles Police Department requested Ring footage of Black Lives Matter protest users in 2020. So much for that immediate danger thing that they said. And in fact, there has been, in a statement, Markey's office says that there's a close relationship between Ring and law enforcement and the proliferation of police using the platform. And that this system, where they can just get your information without your consent, about 2,161 law enforcement officers are enrolled in the Neighbors app, a forum which residents to share suspicious videos captured by their home security cameras. So Markey says, as of my ongoing investigation into the Amazon illustrates, it has become increasingly difficult for the public to move, assemble, and converse in public without being tracked and recorded. So let's just understand this and the seriousness of what's being said. That whole you have to get a warrant to get people's information or whatnot. If you record something that happened on your cell phone, the police, you can either voluntarily hand it over or the police can go and get a warrant to confiscate it or to get a copy of it. That's called due process. And as much as we would like to criticize the bourgeois state, and it should be criticized as much, you would at least think that they would live up to at least their own rules, which they certainly in this situation have clearly indicated that they will not. Now, isn't this another form of spying? I mean, anybody, I would think, has the right to record their own property, their own porch, etc. for their own security. And I think that's a right people should have. But I think that if the state wants it, they're going to have to ask for a warrant. Like, they're going to have to at least ask me if they want it and not just take, essentially, my footage without my permission. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe there was some stuff, maybe some fine print in any user agreement for the Ring camera that the footage actually belongs to Amazon. I don't have an Amazon Ring, so I don't know, but I'm assuming that they would probably slip something like that into the entire documentation that you sign, a licensing agreement, etc. But once again, we see big business, capitalism, aiding the bourgeois state in the violation of not just human rights in general, but their own conception of human rights and what should and should not be. In other words, and once again, they cannot live up to their own standard. And that speaks very much to the intentions of capitalism and the bourgeoisie in general. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.